is a bacala. And a bacala governs the head. That's what knowledge and teaching and all that stuff comes from. My mother was a school teacher. And so what happens here is you would find out what head. So you do the same thing in the Egyptian pantheon. They would find out what deity, whether it be Aset, whether it be Setnet, whether it be Heru, whether it be Tahuti, whether it be Heru. You see, they would find out what deity it is. They find out what deity it is, and they would actually bring that person into the temple. Now, when they bring that person into the temple, whatever that deity would be that's dominant over that person, they would do this ceremony, and they would bring down the energies of that particular deity. And they would say, this person has this done to them, this person has this done to them, and they would go in and they operate. The deity would actually come down and operate. And heal, or even heal. You see what I'm saying? From the spirit side. Now, so it is not far-fetched that you can do this in your own home. It's not far-fetched that you can do this in your own home. You can probably, by aligning yourself with certain statues, you can probably end up manifesting a certain amount of energy in your own home. And when someone gets sick, even prosperity, you find out what deities or whatever with prosperity. But I'll give you an example of what we do and what I do in my home. Whenever I want some finance, and I have a row of Egyptian statues, and I have a row of Egyptian statues, and I had a finance, what I would do is I would go get some green candles and at least two around the actual statues. And those green candles would burn, and you can basically, it's not so mystical. We are in very close contact with the gods, or at least the gods want you to be. So it's going to work when you do it, because of the simple fact, for the mere fact that you are not brainwashing and thinking that things is evil or another religion or whatever thing he is, they're going to work for you because you don't take the initiative to come to them. You see, so let's say you go and you find you an Aset statue or an Anuba statue or a Tahuti statue, and or an Osiris statue, and or a statue of the Sphinx or Sekna, any of these particular statues that you can come up with, and you burn that green candle, or those two green candles, and you say in your own words what you want to happen. Then what will actually happen here is you're going to be successful with it. It's going to manifest. You see, it's going to manifest. So now, to make those images, because it's not the statues, they're not worshiping statues. They're only manifesting or bringing through or congregating with energies of spirits that exist or reside in the quantum world, which is the world that you don't see, the invisible world. So these things are going to be very successful. But what you want to do now, so that certain energies don't get blocked, you want to dust off the statues and keep them clean. One thing is that you can spray them down every other day. The Egyptians used to clean the statues daily, every day. But what you can do is you can every other day, you can spray, you can get you some Florida water and spray the area around the statues or the altar around the statues. You see what I'm saying? Because it could be an altar. And you can spray it and spray the Florida water on the statue and around the area, and keep it dusted, and what will happen here is it will actually, the energy will grow. Then you can also feed the spirits. You're not feed. The statue is only a template or a location to identify a spirit that is invisible. So you can feed these spirits. Sometimes you come in and you get you a plate of food, you fix the spirits a plate of food. To give you an example, my queen's mother just passed on October the 2nd, 2007. And since actually she went into a coma for a week before that. But since she passed into that coma, she has been in Restaurant Central, because whatever we eat, we fix her plate, we buy actual sweets, but she was a sweet person. She liked sweets, which might have been detrimental to her health in the physical body. But when she got rid of the physical body, that means that she wants all the sweets that she could get. So, the sweets, the different foods, and she actually contacted us to say how she's enjoying all of the foods. And this gives that person energy to peacefully make the transition into their higher selves. So, a lot of times the reason why you don't hear from some of your ancestors is because about 40 days after death, they transform back into that original soul. They have many lives, so they transform into that original soul. And if they were on a conscious level, they were these unique individuals when they were living, more than likely they go to higher realms. They go to higher realms. But in order for them to make that transition, you need to make life extremely comfortable for them. And one way to do that is not to breathe, because it confuses them. You see. Why? Because it's almost like a little guilt. Because seriously, they are chilling in this miraculous comfort zone that is nothing short of paradise. And because my mother even told me when she passed on July 20th, 2006, that had I known that this thing was the way it was, words can't even describe the magnitude of where we are and what we are dealing with. Especially if it was a soul that hadn't been trapped because of some confusion in the physical world in the beginning. And so sometimes it can be a little guilt for them, or either worry about you when you were grieving on the other side, and here it is on the other side, you're grieving for them, and on the other side they're in this miraculous place. And you grieving for them, and a lot of times, and the ignorance of it is, a lot of times when you grieve for people, you're not really grieving for people because they passed on, because you've been told all your lives. And most people say it. Even when you go, the most humble people say, she's in a better place, he's in a better place. So a lot of times your grief is not necessarily for the person to pass. Your grief is a confusion and a frustration on how you're going to deal with this person leaving you behind. So a lot of people grieve, you see what I'm saying, based on sorrow because they don't know how they're going to take it. Not the person that's left, but how I'm going to live without the person once that person knows. And that particular person is in utter paradise. You see what I'm saying? So I even look at, and death is the ultimate key for most people. Even the mass murderers and stuff, that when you would say something like, when they would put, they would have death penalty. When you put a person to death, you're giving the person the ultimate gift. If you really want a person to pay for something that they did that's so miraculous on the earth plane, you need to just lock them up for life. You see. But to put a person to death, that's one of the greatest things, and it's one of the greatest honors you can give that person. So in so many words, you actually honor the person by putting